future is here. Let's go. Lego.
As the kids say, it's going to be lit.
That's what they say, Jane.
Yes.
That is what they say.
All right, time for all caps. All 32 teams' caps are here on the desk, which, by the way, some of these caps are
Fire.
awesome.
Yeah, they really are.
I sort of love the dad boat rope.
You like that rope thing. Everybody likes the rope.
It literally harkens back to my dad on a boat back like literally in the 80s. All right, so with the 2020 Scouting Combine in our rear view, we're going to grab the cap of the team that left Indy with the most to think about before the draft.
Ooh.
All right, so Nate, why don't you go first?
Most to think about before the draft.
Pick one that's lit. Pick one that slaps. All slaps. That's the cool thing to say. All right, go ahead, Nate.
Slap. This dude slap. And I'm going with this one right here. I'm going with the Redskins. Listen, there's so much to think about. I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to go with a quarterback and try to have another situation like we saw with the Arizona Cardinals where they had Josh Rosen, then they drafted Kyler Murray? Or do they go with Chase Young and then add that to Montez Sweat and the young defensive nucleus that they're trying to build out there? I feel like they will go defense, and it's the Redskins that are on the clock because right now within that division, they need to make a move sooner than later because everybody else is getting better in the NFC East.
I'm coming right after you. These are the brothers here. It's so cold in the D. Guess who comes next? Matty Pat and those Detroit Lions. What are they doing? I don't know. If Chase Young happens to be there, of course you get him. What if Tua is there at 3? Do they just trade him to the highest bidder? Do they take him? Are we doing a Jeff Okuda thing? Are we doing Isaiah? There's a million things Detroit could do. I always like Daniel Jeremiah says, the draft sort of starts with Detroit. I am in so cold in the D. What do you think, Jane?
I'm glad you brought up Tua because I think Tua is going to affect a lot of teams. All right, we've talked about the Dolphins would love to get Tua there with the Redskins now possibly in play for a quarterback at 2. You've got the Lions, of course, at 3, Giants at 4. Could the Dolphins, who are at number 5, make some moves in the event to go get their quarterback?
Yeah.
So I think this has given them something to think about. Interestingly enough, if you think about it, there's only twice since the merger did 3 quarterbacks get taken in the first 4 overall selections. Can you guys name the year?
No.
A water cooler fact.
No.
1999.
Okay.
Couch, McNabb, and Smith.
Great. That was the Ricky Williams draft. Ezra James.
Yeah.
Great draft. Wow.
All right. Couch, remember that?
Yeah, of course. Number 1.
It's like the first Tebow.
Sort of.
All right. What do we got here, Jane?
All right, now let's talk about the free agency frenzy begins before you know it, and we'll have you covered right here on the NFL Network starting March 15th. So again, we already had the cap. We already talked about, obviously, what we're going to do to make the moves. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the team that makes the biggest move in free agency.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. How about the New England Patriots? I know we just got that. Put this hat on.
Not me. Don't look at me. I do the one-hinger.
I know you do. You got the big brain. All right, so I'm going with the Patriots. I mean, and it's not just about going and getting guys from the outside in. How about the guys they already have on their roster? Tom Brady, that's number 1. Devin McCourty. How about Jamie Collins? What about the best special teams player of all time, Matthew Slater?
All
is
time.
a free agent.
That's the GOAT.
It's like you can't have a Patriots team without Matthew Slater being on the roster. And I know there's other individuals that are sitting there waiting, trying to figure out if the Patriots will snag them. And I know a lot of guys want money, but like I've always said, if I could talk to young Nate Burleson, who went through free agency 3 times, I would say, you know what? It's not always about the money. It could be about the legacy. So consider the free agents that are out there that are sitting back saying, man, I hope the Patriots call me. Maybe Tatum Bridgewater's hoping the Patriots call. I'll take a discount to go there. You know, guys like Amari Cooper that are hoping that the Patriots call. I know A.J. Green has a situation going on with the Cincinnati Bengals, but you just hope that the Patriots call. I feel like there's a lot of individuals that want that ring or at least a chance to get it versus going and get money elsewhere.
Cooper, New England would be intriguing.
You like Cooper, New England? I'm gonna retort to that. There's a team, and also in the AFC East, that has $82 million to spend, and that's a lot of money to pay some bills. Let's go right here. I don't know if you know this team. They were in the playoffs last year. They happened to be in the same division as the Patriots, and there was a sense last year in the middle of the season as the Bills were surging that at the trade deadline they might make that killer move that get us over the top, beat New England move. They didn't make it. I want Amari Cooper in Buffalo. I want him bad. I don't know, Jane, you know a little bit about his personality. It's a little unique. The market's a little unique. He's not the guy who needs the bright lights necessarily. And he and Josh Allen running bombs up and down the field. This is the empire move, as Heisenberg would say. This is the Patriots are washed up move. The Jets aren't going to be the thing. This is our division move. I would love to see a big, bold, dynamic splash by Buffalo, who doesn't always make a lot.
They have the money.
They do have the money. They got John Brown. They got Josh Allen. They got running back. They got everything. I want a superstar, and I think number 19 in Buffalo would be awesome.
And it worked for Cole Beasley, who
Did.
went to the
I got
Cowboys
him
to get the
too.
Bills. Yeah.
You're right. There'd be like a reunion, Jane.
All right. Well, I got to say the Cowboys. So, obviously Dak Prescott's going to be one of their biggest. This one is a little bit tight too.
Okay.
All right.
Looks
so
tight as well.
Okay. So Cowboys. Obviously, you've got to do something with Dak Prescott, but I also think what they need to do is they haven't made a big splash in free agency since really Brandon Carr.
Right.
If you think about it, and that's because they can't simply afford it. They've been trying to retain all their guys. They've got 24 free agents. But if maybe it's not a monster splash in free agency, maybe it's a good splash in free agency, like a Michael Bennett. Because I thought Michael Bennett provided them some veteran leadership in that locker room. He was a guy that had won something. And then there was some frustration there because he knows what it's like to have that winning mentality. I mean, when you look at this team, just their records, 2-6 last year versus team with winning records. They went 8-8. The chemistry was off. The locker room dynamic wasn't the way that it was in the years past. I think they need to make some move to bring in a guy that can give them a little stability.
Yeah, I like
Sometimes
that.
they don't need the monster splash, right? Just a little Greg Louganis tiny splash. It works. Okay. What else we got?
All right,
Let's
what
wrap
else we
this
got?
thing.
All right, well, it's never too early to start talking about the draft. And after what you saw at the Combine, we're now going to grab the cap of the team that we want to see make a big trade up in the draft.
Okay, I'm going with the Panthers. And they say trades rule everything around me. And Matt Rule has an opportunity with the number 7 pick, and I believe they have number 38 as well, or number 38 as well. So how about you piece those together, trade up? If indeed that you don't think that Cam Newton is your guy moving forward, how about you get a young quarterback that's sitting there, maybe Tua sitting on ice for a year, playing behind a guy like Cam Newton. Boom.
Go ahead, Jane. What do you got?
All right, I'm going with the Raiders. Let's make a splash while we're in
There we go.
Vegas this
A lot of
year, right?
splashes.
And the reason why I'm saying that, they've got the 12th and 19th overall pick, and let's not forget they have the 3 third-round picks. So they've got a lot of house money to play with. Make a splash. Let's do something dynamic and get people excited about the Las Vegas Raiders.
I'm way into that, and I'm saying you can't find a ghetto man. Dave Gettleman, my man, do something. You're sitting there for, we're open for business. They can move up if they're feeling crazy, like they want to do something nuts, like go get Chase Young, or they can move way back, or they can sit tight. All I want is just one fat, juicy soundbite from Dave Gettleman during and after the draft, and he always delivers. If you need to get a man, you can get him, man. That's my guy. Let's go. Go get him, Dave.
He always has something, doesn't he?
You're right about that. Now, speaking of open for...
Time for Will Selva and the newsroom out in Culver City. Good morning, Will.
Good morning to you, Jane. Guys, I was wondering if somebody was going to call out sick after chucking that smoothie yesterday. And obviously, you guys have very strong stomachs, but Peter, conspicuously absent.
Yeah.
So maybe he's the gentle flower out of all of you.
He has a weak
Somebody
stomach.
check in on Schrager. Who knows?
He's a weak stomach.
Scary times.
Yes, it is. Very
I just
scary
ruined it for
times.
him, Will. He couldn't come back a second day with me.
No. Glad you're back for a second day, Jane. Lots to get to in the news, as there's been a steady drip of it coming out on the various physical issues quarterback Jameis Winston dealt with last season. A broken thumb, as we mentioned, a torn meniscus, and poor eyesight, which resulted in LASIK eye surgery. Now, the timing of these revelations coinciding with his pending free agency. Peter King of NBC Sports believes the Bucs are likely to move on from Winston, and he will not be a starting QB on opening day in 2020 unless he is in Tampa. Now, another starting quarterback whose future is up in the air is Andy Dalton. The Athletic reporting the Bears have been in touch with the Bengals about acquiring Dalton. The Bears are said to be looking for Mitchell Trubisky to get pushed by another quarterback. New offensive coordinator Bill Lazor, by the way, does have some familiarity with Dalton dating back to his days when he was the QB's coach and OC from 2016 to 2018. In non-QB news, Broncos running back Philip Lindsay proving to be a steal for the team as an undrafted free agent. One would think he would be in line for a new contract, right? But general manager John Elway had said Lindsay would have to wait until after free agency before they would even consider renegotiations. There's apparently a reason for the hesitancy, as 9 News in Denver reports the team has interest in some of the top free agent running backs, including Derrick Henry, Kenyon Drake, and Melvin Gordon. Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch will be giving a speech at graduation time. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, now that it has, the place where he would be giving his address is Princeton. It would actually be for Princeton's Class Day, which takes place the day before the commencement ceremony. The senior class is in charge of organizing it. And if it was anything like his final press conference when he talked about taking care of your chickens and taking care of your mentals, it should be epic. I'm here for it, but we happen to have